Greetings, family. This is Dr. Mark Holland from the Mind the Business That Pays You podcast. I have with me the incredible Dr. Willie Jolley here today, 4-time, might be 5-time author. He's spitting them out so much I can't tell. Fantastic gentleman. Dr. Jolley, before we start, I just want to ask you a quick question before we dive into some things. What is it that you do and what makes you great at it?
What I do is I help people grow themselves so they can grow their wealth.
Love it.
So that's what I do. And my goal is to help people rise above their circumstances and maximize their God-given abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And you ask what makes me great at it. What makes me great at it is what Dr. King taught us. He taught us that in his last sermon at Ebenezer, he said, if you want to be recognized, that's nice. If you want to be important, that's fine. But if you want to be great, you need to know the new definition of greatness.
Mm-hmm.
That he who serves others is someone who is great. You don't need to know about Plato and Aristotle. You don't need to have a college education. You don't need to know about Einstein's theory of relativity. All you need is a heart full of love and a soul generated by grace, and you can serve somebody. And if you serve somebody, then you can be great. So that is what makes me great, is I've made a commitment to serve and to serve people everywhere, every way I can, to help them rise above their circumstances and maximize their God-given ability, help them grow themselves and grow themselves so they can grow their wealth.
I love it. Now, I'm going to be nosy for a minute because I like you, I have an incredible wife. And
yes,
I believe that and nobody told me this, but I got to ask you, does your wife help you with the titles of your books?
That one is good. That's the first time I've ever been asked that question. Actually, the answer is no.
Okay.
She does not. She does not help me with the titles. She helps me to create the product in terms of the editing of every book. But I must say, Brother Mark, that the Lord gives me those titles. I usually wake up in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
I always keep a pad and a pencil by my bed so that when the Lord gives me an idea, I can write it down and capture it.
Gotcha.
And so all the titles have come from this inspiration. People come up to me and say, man, you got the best titles. I said, well, I don't know if that's true.
It's true. It's true. And that's why
I don't know
asked
it's
the
true,
question, man. It's true. It's true.
My wife is not what I would call a creative. She's a analytic.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very meticulous. That's why she edits all the books. That nothing that I write leaves this office without her viewing it and going through it. So,
Right.
So thank you for that. I'll tell her that tonight, though. I'll tell her what you said. I'll tell her tonight.
Hey, I thought I had cracked the code,
great.
man, but actually I did. That's a beautiful answer. They are inspired by God, those titles.
Yes.
Because your titles are catchy, they grab you, and I don't forget them. And so I said, wait a minute, I know how my wife is. His wife got something to do with that. But hey, thank you for answering that for me.
She has a lot to do with the book because she has a book becoming a item that can be taken to the market. A lot. But I come up with the titles. People ask me, do you have a ghostwriter? I write every word of every book, type it on my computer, every word of every book. I've never had a ghostwriter. AI doesn't write it for me. I do it tap, 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 tap.
Now, I was going to wait until later, but I just can't wait to ask you this question. What
Go ahead, my brother.
is it that you can tell some of the folk that are just getting into the speaking business and that are authors? What is the secret sauce of longevity in the business?
Oh, man, that's a great question. Man, you got great questions, Dr. Mark. Just great questions. The secret sauce of longevity is actually the secret sauce of what made me successful.
All right.
When I got started speaking, there was only one guy who was doing what I said I wanted to do. His name was Les Brown.
Yes, sir.
And so I had no other model. So when I first started speaking, I really was a little Les Brown. I was going around saying, better than good, better than most.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was a little Les Brown. And then I was giving speeches that were very generic. I talked about Edison failing 10,000 times. I talked about Abraham Lincoln with his failures and overcoming them. But I was doing everything anyone else could do. I went to the National Speakers Association about 6 months into my speaking business or career and met a lady named Rosita Perez, who was considered to be like a godmother to all the great speakers. She helped this one, that one, to really become great. And I met her and I said, I'd love for you to see my video. And I sent my little VHS to her and she reached out to me and she said, you've got the right stuff. The problem is you're not saying the right stuff.
Okay.
You're doing someone else's story.
Mm-hmm.
She said, young man, you've got the right stuff inside of you, the want to empower and inspire people. But now you've got to get the right words to say with that gasoline that's inside of you, that power. She said, tell your story.
All right.
Just tell your story. Don't tell anybody else's. Just tell your story. And from that day to this, I've just told my story. The ups and downs, the goods, the bad, the warts and all. And I've shared with people a message out of my mess. I shared with them my ignorance that I had to overcome. And I've shared with them how to turn setbacks into comebacks because I had so many setbacks. And thank God I was able to turn those setbacks into comebacks.
I love it. Now I'm going to share this with you, Dr. Willie, because nobody knows this. You helped me grow up a little bit because the first time I met you, it was at the National Speakers Association conference in Boulder, Colorado. You, Les Brown, and some other heavyweights are sitting there, and I'm sitting there just listening, trying to be a fly on the wall. And you turned to me and said, and who are you? And Les being my mentor, I looked at him and he looked back at me and said, well, tell him who you are. And so you helped me. I was in my little shell. I didn't even think y'all saw me over there sitting down.
Well, I wanted to know who this brother was in the corner, and he was a handsome and well-dressed. I said, who are you, my brother? Tell me.
And I want you to know I appreciate it because you helped me. You might not have noticed it, but I was a little, kind of slumped over before you asked me that. But after I got
right up,
to express myself, I popped up, showed this
sir.
Proper, we call it posture,
Yes.
So thank you for that. That might not have been noticeable, but I want you to know that.
Well, thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Let me ask you this, Dr. Willie. When you say vision in VDAD, how would you help someone picture the difference between being rich today and being wealthy for life?
Well, let me first give you what that VDAD, because you're giving something that's very powerful, and I don't want people to not know what it is.
Yes, sir.
They think it's an acronym. In my book, A Setback is a Setup for a Comeback, I talk about helping people who've had setbacks turn them into great comebacks. And in that book, I start the book, the first 2 pages just tells my story. Out of 200 pages, I only got the first 2 pages to tell my setback and the comeback. But the rest are lessons. I tell my story of how I was a nightclub singer and had won the awards in Washington, D.C. for best jazz singer, best entertainer, best performer. And went in a nightclub one night and was told I was being replaced by a karaoke machine. It was during the midst of the karaoke craze. And I didn't know what a karaoke machine was, but I was devastated because I'd worked so hard to build that club, and yet I'm getting replaced by a machine.
Yes.
And I was depressed, but somebody gave me a book called Think and Grow Rich.
Love it. Yes.
And I never read a book from cover to cover ever in my life. And I read that book, and there's a premise in that book that throughout the book that said wherever there's an adversity, at that same point, there's the seed for a great opportunity. And I took a job with the school system while I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with the rest of my life. And it was during that year at the school system that I had to start giving speeches as part of my job. And from the little kids first, then the teachers, then the administrators, and then I was introduced to Les Brown, and he heard me speak and invited me to be on tour with him and Gladys Knight as the opening act for their Music and Motivation Dream Team tour. And they introduced me to radio people. I got a radio show, little radio show, but it got popular, it got syndicated. You can now hear me every morning across America on Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell, on the Praise Network at 8:20 a.m. Eastern with Wake Up and Win with Dr. Willie Jolley. That led to Sirius XM, where I now have the #1 self-help show in America, the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show and podcast. That
Awesome.
led to a book publisher hearing me on the radio and inviting me to write a book. I wrote a book called It Only Takes a Minute to Change Your Life, became a national bestseller. Then turned setbacks, a setback is set up for a greenback. No, a setback is set up for a comeback, became a global bestseller. Then turned setbacks into greenbacks, became a bestseller. Attitude of Excellence, another bestseller. Then a book I wrote with my wife, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, another bestseller. And now we got this new book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better, which I think is going to be the biggest one yet. But 1999, after writing the books, then I'm named one of the top 5 speakers in the world by Toastmasters. A few years later, I'm inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame. A few years later, I'm named one of the top 5 leadership speakers. A few years later, I'm named one of the legends of the speaking industry. And a couple years ago, I was recipient of the highest award in the speaking industry, the Cavett Award. Wow. And it all came out of this book, A Setback Set Up for a Comeback. And the fact that in the book, I tell people about the fact that I had a setback, but I turned it and come back because I got a big vision for my future. Yes. I got a big vision for my future. And I remember talking to a friend. He was a preacher. And when I first started this speaking business, I was broke. And I was talking to him and he said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to become a speaker." "A what?" "A speaker." And he said, "You think you can make a living doing that?" I said, "Yes. And not only that, but I'm going to become one of the best in the world within a decade."
I love it.
I spoke it. That was the vision I had. I spoke it. That was 1991. In 1999, less than a decade, I was named one of the top 5 speakers in the world. Vision is the first part of that VDAD. First is vision. Second is decision. You must make a decision. Life is about decisions. It's not what happens to you, what you do about it. And then the third is your actions. What actions are you going to take toward the vision? And finally is desire. How bad do you want? When stuff gets tough, when stuff gets hard, when things start going wrong and you're trying to live your dreams, what do? Do you give up? No, you got to have great desire. You have to have great desire. So vision, decision, action, and desire. And all the people I interviewed for the book, A Setback Set Up for a Comeback, there was that theme that ran throughout the book, that they all had a vision, they made tough decisions, they took action, and they had great desire. And so I'm saying to all of the people who are watching or listening, that if you can get a vision for the future, and you can take action and have the decision to take action and take the action and have the great desire, you can turn your setbacks into amazing comebacks. This is not something I think can happen. I know this could happen.
This is a lived experience.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. Dr. Jolley, I'm a big believer in self-assessment, taking inventory, seeing where you are before you try to launch out. So could you give me a couple of questions someone could ask themselves to turn a fuzzy money dream into a clear wealth goal?
Well, I have questions that I post all around my office that remind me to stay focused. See, sometimes it's not the answer that's wrong, it's the wrong questions.
Yes, sir.
So I have to have good questions. Here's a set of those questions. What do I want? So ask yourself, what do I want? And you answer the question before you go to question number 2.
Don't just run through them. Yeah.
Because they're important that you answer before you go to the next one. What do you want? What are you presently doing to get what you want? So you say you want to lose weight. Okay. That's what you want. How much? You tell them you got a number. What are you doing to get what you say you just said you want? Okay. I want to lose 25. Okay. So what do you want? What are you presently doing to get what you want? Third question. Can't answer third question until you ask the second one. Well, now that I know what you're doing, what more could you be doing to get what you want? Okay. So what do I want? I want to lose 25 pounds. What am I doing? I'm going to the gym 4 days a week. Okay. What more could I be doing? I guess I could eat more fruits and vegetables. I guess I could get a standing desk. I could be more active. Okay, so what do you want? What are you doing to get what you want? What more could you be doing to get what we want? And here's the ouch question. What must you what must you stop doing to get what you just said you want?
Could you get off my toes, please?
So you say you want to lose weight. Okay, great. That's you got 25 pounds. What are you doing? I'm going to the gym 4 times a week. What more could you do? I could go a couple more days, or I could get a standing desk, or eat more fruits and vegetables. What must you stop doing? Oh, I got to stop eating that bowl of ice cream at night before I go to bed. I said I want to lose weight, but I'm eating that ice cream. I had to answer that question 'cause I love pretzels.
Mm.
Love pretzels. And so I used to eat a pretzel and have a glass of cranberry juice every night before I went to bed. And I wonder why I couldn't lose any weight. It was the pretzels eating every night, that dough, that bread.
Yeah.
So now I can only do that maybe once a week on Sundays. So I had to say, what must I stop doing? So when you go through those questions, whether it's for your business or whether it's your money, they will answer themselves.
I appreciate that. You know, what I love about doing these type of interviews is that you meet such great people and you hear such great stories. And I know you having the number one podcast in the country, you've have met all kind of people. Can you just grab a quick story for us of someone who changed their finances by simply getting a clear vision of wealth?
Well, I got lots of them.
I know you do.
You're absolutely right. I have been blessed to interview some of the greatest wealth creators of our time.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, I'm the host of the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show and podcast on Sirius XM, channel 141. The show airs on Saturdays at 4 o'clock and re-airs Tuesdays at 6 and Thursdays at 6 Eastern Time. 4 on Saturdays, 6 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I've interviewed people like Bill Marriott, General Colin Powell, David Rubenstein, David Stewart, Bob Johnson, Sheila Johnson, Ted Leonsis. I've interviewed Mark Randolph, co-founder of Netflix, Damon John, John Hope Bryant, T.D. Jakes. I have Steve Case, founder of AOL. One after another, billionaire after billionaire, millionaire after millionaire. And so those interviews have changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
But this book is going to change the world. I really do believe it. And the book is not a book that came from me.
Mm-hmm.
This book came through me. It came through me. And it's the culmination of these 20 years of interviewing these folks. And one day the light bulb, Brother Mark, went off above my head about 4 or 5 years ago. Now, I've been on it for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking I knew what wealth was. And about 4 years ago, the light bulb went off above my head. And I finally get it. I finally get it. The difference between being rich and wealthy. And when I got it, I said, maybe I'm the only one who don't know. Maybe I'm the outlier. Everybody else know. I just didn't get it. I just couldn't figure it out. So I went around the country as I'm going to speak for conventions and conferences and rallies and churches. I'd ask people, hey, let me ask you, what's rich to you? Number one answer was always the same, $1 million. People say, oh, you got $1 million, you're rich. Okay, well, if rich is $1 million, what's wealthy? And they'll stop, they'll ponder, they'll look up in the air and they'll say, well, I guess it's 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, 10 million, a billion. That's when I knew that they didn't know either. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I said, most people don't know. And then I went back to those billionaires that I had interviewed and I called them and said, look, I got a theory here and I want to share it with you. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. I told them my theory. They said, oh my goodness, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And here's the thing. We too busy doing wealth creation. We don't have time to stop and write a book. You write books. You do television. You do radio. You need to write the book. You need to write the book right now.
Mm-hmm.
The book has taken me 2 years. It took me 20 years to be able to write the book, but 2 years to write it.
Mm-hmm.
And the book is entitled Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better.
Yes, sir.
And it's profound. Now, to go back to your question, a story about someone who created wealth. There's so many.
Mm-hmm.
But one that comes to mind immediately is Kathy Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we all in our community know Kathy Hughes as the founder of Radio One and TV One. Kathy Hughes wanted to be in radio from a little girl. She came to Howard University, got a job at WHUR in sales, and eventually became the general manager and created a show called The Quiet Storm.
Yes.
And that became very popular. And then she decided she wanted to run her own shop. 32 banks turned her down. Finally, she got one venture capital firm to give her money to buy a little radio station called WOL. She started hiring people, but the money was coming in slow. And so she had to decide whether she was going to pay her car note or pay salaries. She decided to pay the salaries. They repossessed the car.
Mm-hmm.
And then some months later, the same thing came again. Pay salaries to build a business or pay her mortgage. She decided to pay the people.
Yes, sir.
And they foreclosed on her home. So she slept in the station for almost 2 years in a sleeping bag and cooked her food on a hot plate.
Wow.
So that's a story. But you know what? She didn't give up.
Yes.
And so when I interviewed her, I would highly recommend everybody listen to that interview. When I interviewed her, she said, "You know what, Willie, I'm proud of. I've never bounced a check, and I've never missed payroll. Oh, I didn't get paid, but I've never missed payroll paying people."
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a story. Now, let me give you a story, though, about rich and wealthy. That's profound. About a month ago, Brother Mark, I was in Cleveland, Ohio, speaking. Friday night, I did an event with Ben Crump, super lawyer. Saturday, I had off. And then Sunday morning, I was going to do a big church event. So Saturday afternoon, the client took me to a fancy restaurant. And while we were there, one of the star players from the Cleveland Browns football team walked by with his entourage.
Mm-hmm.
And the client knew him and said, "Hey, come over. I want you to meet Dr. Willie Jolley." And the young man came over with his fur coat on, and jewelry around his neck, and his entourage. And the client said, "Hey, this is Dr. Willie Jolley. He teaches people how to be wealthy." The young football player said, "I'm already wealthy, but I guess I can get more wealth. Give me your card."
Mm-hmm.
I gave him a card, and he and the entourage left. And I said to my client, my friend at the table with me, I said, "Let me tell you something. I don't know about that young man's finances, but I can bet you dimes to dollars that he thinks he's wealthy, but he's really rich. And rich is good, but the owner is wealthy."
Yes.
See, that young man got a contract that made him a multimillionaire to play football, to run up and down the field, to run, to jump, to tackle, to be tackled, to sweat, and go to training camp. And when the game is over, he leaves and he's a millionaire. And that's good. But the owner never left his owner's box. He didn't run up and down the field. He didn't sweat. He sipped his favorite beverage. And when that game is over, he left as a billionaire. And when that young man on the field is no longer productive or gets hurt, then he loses that job.
Mm-hmm.
And that owner replaces him with another young man, gives him a few $1 million, and he says, "Do well, because your time here is short. You're in the NFL, not for long." But the owners own those teams for decades and generations. So rich is good. The young man, I'm proud of him being rich, but he can't stop at rich. He got to go on and get wealthy. And that's why it's important for me to write. It was important for me to write this book, to teach people the difference between being rich and being wealthy. That's the first group, so that they can grow and to be wealthy. Those who want to go get wealthy, but don't know exactly how to do it. I will teach them in the book what I've been taught by these billionaires over the last 20 years. First group is people who want to be wealthy, don't know how to get there. The second group that this book is focused on, all the people who have worked hard all their lives, who have scrimped and saved and sacrificed and done without to create a nest egg, but they're concerned that their children will not be able to maintain it.
Mm-hmm.
Or as one man said to me, "My greatest fear, Dr. Jolley, is that my children will not treat my money like I treated it. And they will go through in months what it took me decades and decades and decades to grow." He finished reading the book. He ordered 5 more books for his children and 5 more for his grandchildren. And he said, before any of these children or grandchildren get put in my will, they got to read this book. Wow. Woo!
Love it.
Rich is good. Wealthy is better. Everybody go to richisgoodwealthyisbetter.com and get some of the free chapters I put there just to help people. Even if you don't buy the book, just read the chapters. They'll help you. And if you get the book, get more than one copy and I'll pay for shipping. So rich is good. Wealthy is better.
Love it. Let me ask you this, Dr. Jolley. What's the one decision you see people resist that actually unlocks the move from short-term riches to long-term wealth?
Simple. That's a great question, and it's a simple answer. Spending without being intentional, or spending without thinking. Just spending rather than discipline of saving. Okay, folks, discipline is critical for wealth creation. See, wealth starts in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
starts in your brain, and it starts with a discipline. Now, anybody can become rich on accident. You can become rich on accident. Somebody can say, let me take you to the ball game, or I bought 10 lottery tickets. I would give you one. And I took you, or I take you to the basketball game, and you at the court, and the Zoom camera said, you're the one who's chosen to shoot the half court shot tonight. It's $1 million. And you come down on the court, and you say, I never made a half court shot. So you just take the ball and you just close your eyes and throw it as hard as you can. Gloop, it goes right in. Whoosh. You're a millionaire. You're rich. You hit a lottery. You're rich. But if you don't know how to maintain that and grow it, that money's going to disappear. It's just a matter of time.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
Wealth starts in the mind. It's the discipline to live below your means and invest the difference. And then make sure you got insurance to protect your assets.
Got it. Doc, how do you help someone stop waffling and make a real stick-to-it financial decision instead of just hoping things will change?
Education is critical. The reason why they waffle because they're not confident.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why they do what they do with poor business decisions because of education. That is one of the reasons why I wrote the book. And I write in the book how important it is to not take quick stock tips from your cousin, to do due diligence, to take courses, to read the books, to get the information so that you're not guessing. You must become financially literate. And I had to do that. I did not have a good relationship with money.
Mm-hmm.
But I made the decision to learn, to get with mentors, to read the books, to study, to take classes, take courses, and it's had an impact. So I hope that answers that question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You did. Which mindset shift would you tell me from your book do people need most to stay committed to making a decision they made over years instead of months?
Well, I'm gonna give you a better question that will answer what you just said better.
Uh-huh.
In the book, I talk about the 5 money mindsets.
Okay.
And everybody fits in one of those mindsets. So once you find where you fit, then you make the decision to go up another level. So there are 5 money mindsets. The lowest level is a one-day mindset. That's the person you see every day on the corner with a cardboard box saying, give me enough money for today. Then you got the 30-day mindset. That's the people who live month to month, whether they're on welfare, SNAP, Social Security, retirement, disability. I don't know what it is, but they live month to month. Then you got the 1-year mindset. The people who judge and look at their life in a 1-year cycle. Did I get a cost of living raise this year? Did I make more money this year than last year? Then you get the 10-year mindset. Typically in athletics and entertainment, a baseball player might get a 10-year contract, $100 million to play baseball. And for 10 years, he's balling. He got 8 Bentleys, 4 Rolls Royces, 3 Mercedes, 8 homes, a helicopter. He's balling. He got table service at the club, balling. But if he doesn't get that contract renewed, or he gets hurt and does not modify his lifestyle, he's going to be broke. And that is why over 70% of professional athletes, 70% of professional athletes are broke 5 years after retirement. But then you get the wealth mindset, which is the generation mindset. The Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's great-grandchildren. And so those who have made a commitment that 100 years from now, some child, some person will be blessed because of what I'm doing today.
Mm-hmm.
That is the mindset. So this book, its job is to hopefully get each level to go up a level. So that answer your question is get you. So it's too big a chasm for that one-day guy to go to the wealth immediately.
Yeah.
But if I can get him just to go up to the 30-day, and the 30-day to go up to the 1 year, and the 1 year to go up to the 10-year, and the 10-year to go up to the generational, then I've done my job. I've served well. So that is about the mindset. And I hope people will take it, look at the book, read it, and then elevate their mindset to the next level.
Somebody, Dr. Jolley, is listening. They're saying, I want to do this thing. I'm tired of my situation. I got to make a move. So after someone decides to build wealth, what are 3 practical things that you would tell them to do tomorrow?
Well, before I do that, before I give you the 3, I want to give everybody a little gift. So anybody who is listening right now and wants a free copy of a digital book, not the new book, but it's called Only the Best on Success. For those who want the Only the Best on Success book, if you'll send me an email at info@williejolly.com and put in there friend of Dr. Marks, please give me the Only the Best on Success book. Just put friend of Dr. Marks, free Only the Best on Success book. We'll send that digital book to you, okay? And my gift. And it's a book of Only the Best on Success are a group of Hall of Fame speakers, of which I'm one. And we came together to put a book to help people. So, okay, now the 3 things that you could do tomorrow to go be on your way to wealth. Number 1, stop spending. Just track your spending. Track your spending. Just track your spending. And stop just buying because it's in your pocket. You when I was a little boy, money, I get some money. It was like it was burning a hole in my pocket. Y'all ever been there?
Yes, sir. Woo!
I got some money. I'm going right to the corner store, okay? Stop spending. Track your spending. Every penny for the next 30 days. If you can, track what you're spending on. That's first thing you can do, starting tomorrow. Number 2, make a commitment that you're going to save a dime out of every dollar. You're going to save at least a dime out of every dollar. Number 3, that you're going to give, tithe, a dime out of every dollar. That you're going to find a good ground to sow it into. It's a seed. And you gave me 3, but I'm going to give you a 4th one. And
Yes,
then
sir.
invest a dime out of every dollar. Tithe a dime, save a dime, invest a dime. You can invest now in this thing called fractional investing.
Yeah.
And you can get a fraction with whatever money you got. You got $1, you can buy $1 worth of, what do you use? You use Google? You can buy $1 worth of Google. Where do you shop? You shop at Walmart? You can buy $1 worth of Walmart. What kind of gas you drive? Whatever, Chevron, Exxon, whatever. I can buy $1 worth of that. Or I shop on Amazon. You can get $1 worth of Amazon. I'm not encouraging any company, but I am encouraging you to tithe a dime, save a dime, invest a dime. You do that starting tomorrow and track your spending and don't spend every dollar, every penny. You're going to be on your way to wealth.
Powerful, powerful, powerful moves. Now, just to confirm, Dr. Willie, that was info@williejolly.com.
Yes, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the main place. Info@Willie, WILLIE, Jolly, JOLLEY.com. Say a friend of Dr. Marks and send me the Only the Best on Success free book.
Yeah, because I
We'll
happen
send
to
it
be
to
a
you.
friend. Yeah, I happen to be a friend of Dr. Mark, so I wanted to make sure I
Yeah,
had.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a good guy. You should know that guy.
Let me, yes, sir. Let me ask you this, Dr. Jolly. Dr. Jolly,
Yeah.
how would you suggest someone sequence paying down debt, building an emergency fund, and starting to invest so they won't get stuck? Sometimes you get frustrated.
Inch by inch, it's a cinch. Little by little. You might not be able to do it all. Just start little by little. Start paying down the debt. Start saving some money. Start paying down the debt. Start saving some money. You get your tax return rather than you going on a vacation or buying a new car, that you take that money and you save some of it and you pay down your debt. You bite the bullet for a little while on the front end, but you benefit on the back end. So you
Yep.
just start. Just start.
I love that. Just get moving. Get moving.
Get moving. Yes.
Dr. Jolly, it might have been 2008. I had a 401k. My wife is in education. She had a 403b, and we feared opening the envelopes that the market was so horrible. And
Yes.
so my question for you is, when markets tumble or progress is slow, how do you help people to reignite the desire to keep going? Because sometimes you want to snatch that money out, you want to move stuff, but you don't know what you're doing. What do we do?
Yeah. In my book, Turn Setbacks into Greenbacks. Great book, by the way. I say The first step to turning your setbacks into greenbacks is do not panic. Do not panic. In 1929, there was a stock market crash. People panicked. Some jumped off of bridges. Some blew out their brains. My grandfather, who I'd never met, but he was working for the railroad, and he had invested in stocks to be able to have money for my mother's college education. In 1929, the stock market crashed. Back then, you got paper certificates, and he took the paper and he sold it to get whatever he could out of it.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up getting pennies on a dollar.
Yeah.
If he had held that paper for 10 years, just held it,
Mm-hmm.
he would have been a millionaire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? So don't panic. Whatever you do, don't panic. But he didn't know. He didn't know because this was new. No one had ever told him about investing. And let me tell you how that has rippled. Because he lost his life savings in the stock market and sold the paper. My mother was scarred for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
My mother was a school teacher. She sold World Book Encyclopedia. She rented out rooms at our home. She had some entrepreneurial spirit. She told me, go to school, get you a good education, get a job, save your money.
Yeah.
My grandmother, entrepreneur, Philadelphia, beauty salon. She said, go to school, get a good education, save your money.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever said to me, invest. I never heard that word.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard that word. So he didn't know. They didn't know. And I didn't know until my grandmother died and left my brother, my mother, and I some money. I took that money, put it in the bank, and then I didn't spend it. And then I took a course at American University in investing. And I took the money out of the bank and put it in the market. But I didn't know what I was doing until I took the course. Okay? So
Yes.
I'm encouraging people. Throughout the book, I tell people the importance of financial education, the importance of getting a financial planner, a financial advisor, and being wise with every dollar. Rich is good. Wealthy is better. Everybody go to richisgood.wealthyisbetter.com. Or you can go to winwithwillie.com. That's my major suite of sites, withwillie.com. And you get access to all my sites. My motivation for business, my motivation for personal life, if you want to be a speaker and grow a speaking business, how to do that, my motivation for young people, my music site, my faith-based site, my goal-setting site, all of them are one place, winwithwillie.com. Go there and get busy. And we got free stuff there too, so go.
I love it, sir. Now, let me ask you, for someone with almost no savings,
Mm-hmm.
which VDAD step, because you did a great job of outlining what VDAD is for us, which VDAD step should they focus on this month? And what's the exact micro step you tell them to take to get moved?
Well, I told you about a vision. You got to start working on your goals and dreams and your vision. And you got to have a big vision, a vision that almost is scary because, think about it. I said I was going to be one of the top speakers in the world in 10 years. I'm just getting started, but I did. But so you got to have a vision. But then I think the tough one is the decision.
Making a commitment.
Making the decision is tough. Look, there's a little thing that says two little birds sitting on a telephone wire. One of them decides to fly away. How many little birds you got left? 2. Why? Because until you act on that decision, nothing happens. So you got to have vision, decision, and you got to act on it.
Yes,
and
sir.
then you got to have that desire. And one more thing that kind of came to my mind as you were saying that question, where do you start? In the book, I talk about the fact that you start where you are. And some people say, well, you talk about owning stuff. I can't own nothing. I could barely pay my bills. I ain't making but, minimum wage almost. How can I do this? What are you talking about? And I tell story after story in the book about people who didn't make a lot of money, but who created wealth, like Mary Ellen Pleasant. Mary Ellen Pleasant was a domestic worker in the nights who cleaned people's homes and washed their clothes. She never made more than $6,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
But she lived below her means, and she invested the difference, and she amassed over $5 million. And when she died, she left a net worth of $2.7 million.
Awesome.
Never made more than. How about the secretary at a law office in the 1960s, before the internet? The lawyers would come to her every day and say, here's my stock pick, call my broker and tell him to buy X. She did that for a while, and she said, I wonder why they buying these stocks. What is a stock? So over lunch, she asked them about stocks. She asked them why they were doing it. They taught her about stocks. They gave her insight. So she never made more than $45,000 a year, but she started investing in what they did. She learned about it, why they're doing it. And when she retired, she had a net worth of $8 million.
Wow.
And not how much money you make is what you do with the money. Remember this, folks, write this one down. Most people work for their money. Wealthy people make their money work for them.
Yes,
You
sir.
can be wealthy when you decide, I'm going to make my money work for me. It's going to get up and go to work just like I get up and go to work. Every day it's going to get up and go to work, and it's going to come home at night with more money. That's its job.
Nobody laying around here. Money got to go to work too. That's right.
Everything and everybody got to go work, and that money got to go to work.
Now, before I tell you this, before I ask you this next question, Dr. Jolley, I want to tell you that a couple months ago, my mother's 92, and
God bless you.
amen. So I've been trying to really hang in there with her and make sure she was good. And I
Sure.
had a routine doctor's visit, and out of the blue, they say, "We see something. You have prostate cancer."
Mm.
And I'm like, "What? Will you see what?" But anyway, let me just zero right in on what happened. I had the surgery just a little over a month ago. Before the surgery, my PSA was 4.6, I think it was. They say
Mm-hmm.
in the range of normal 0 to 2. And then
Right.
after the surgery, we
Amen.
in good
Amen.
shape. And I wanted to kind of set this question up with that to let you know I need you to go in on this one because this is personal. So
Yes.
this
Yes.
question is, if someone hits a major setback, job loss, health issue, what immediate financial and mindset moves should they make to protect their long-term wealth plan?
Well, that's why the three things, I'm going to go back to the three things I told you that
Mm-hmm.
you have to have income,
Yes, sir.
you have to have investments, and you have to have insurance.
Mm-hmm.
That insurance, you need to have health insurance. You need to have life insurance, first of all. Everybody needs life insurance. If you love your family like you say you do, you got to have life insurance. If you don't have life insurance, you really don't love your family because you should not leave them with a bill. You should leave them with a will. So you got to have life insurance. Number two, you got to have health insurance. You got to have health insurance, and then you got to have disability insurance, and then long-term care insurance. And you need to have car insurance and fire insurance. These are critical to make sure that you are covered and you don't have to attack your life savings when you have a crisis.
Mm-hmm.
What else comes to my mind about what you just said? I'm so glad you did something, Brother Mark.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you went to the doctor.
Yes, sir.
You went to the doctor, and the doctor said, we're doing our test. You didn't feel anything
No,
to
sir.
make you go. You didn't feel anything. They saw something, and they said, we see his number, and four, well, as you said, you were at 3, 4, 4 point, you weren't at 1,000. I've had people with prostate cancer, stage 4, who are at 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Okay. And it's real hard that they feel something. They got a symptom. Once you have a symptom in prostate cancer, it's too late. It's too late. So thank God first you went to doctor. I'm encouraging every man to go get your PSA. Go get your PSA. Every man, go get your PSA. You used to have an uncomfortable test. It was uncomfortable. They told you bend over and smile. You don't have to do that anymore. You got to get a PSA test. Every man and every woman who's listening, make your man, whether he's your husband, your father, your son, your cousin, make them go get a PSA test.
Yes, sir.
Because it's if you catch it, it's treatable. Les Brown, twice. General
Yes.
Colin Powell, Farrakhan. You can go down the list who caught it and responded. Okay, that's first. Second, there are 5 types of wealth, and you brought to mind that I got to express them. Of course, there's financial wealth,
Mm-hmm.
but the most important wealth is your health.
Yes, sir.
It's the most important wealth. Because what good is all the money if you're sick and can't enjoy it? It is reported that Steve Jobs said on his deathbed, I'd give the billions away for more time.
Hey.
You know, our friend Les Brown says this like this. He said, the man who is sick has one dream, to get well, while the man who is healthy, has a million dreams.
Yes.
So focus on your health. Number 1 is financial. Number 2 is health. And actually, number 1 is health, but we think financial. Financial, health, then relationship. You mentioned your wife. See, it's not just where you're going, who's going with you.
Yes, sir.
All right. And then number 4 is reputational wealth. What do people say about you when you're not around? What kind of reputation are you generating and how have you generated? Number 5 is intellectual capital wealth. What do you know and what are people willing to pay you because of what you know?
Yes.
I like to say it like this. You got to use what you know to make more dough. Come on, baby.
I know
Woo!
that's
Come on now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So again, all of these are in the book, plus the 8 streams of income.
right.
Everybody should have at least 2 of the 8 streams. Everybody should have at least 2 of the 8 streams of income. It's in the book. It's a whole chapter on the 8 streams, and they're available to everybody. You can do it. You can do it. So we talked about 5 money mindsets. We talked about 5 types of wealth. We got to also talk about the fact that you got to know the difference between being rich and wealthy. And I mentioned the book that changed my life was Think and Grow Rich. I'm also grateful that some years ago I was contacted by Napoleon Hill Foundation about being one of the 53 thought leaders to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the book. For those who don't know, Think and Grow Rich is the #1 self-help book of all times. So it's sold more books than any other self-help book, and it's made more millionaires than any other book other than the Bible. The book is the result of Napoleon Hill interviewing the titans of business in the 1920s and 1930s. Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie, DuPont, Wanamaker, Firestone, taking all that information and putting it together in a book. Well, folks, for the last 20 years, I've interviewed the titans of business of this day. Marriott, Colin Powell, David Rubenstein, David Stewart, John Hope Bryant, and I put all that information in the book. And I've done interview after interview, and I've had over multiple interviewers who said, I read your book, Dr. Jolley, and let me tell you what I think. I think your book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better, is the sequel to Think and Grow Rich. Wow.
It's
Woo!
amazing. It's amazing you say that because as we were talking, I was thinking the same thing.
Woo! This is blowing my mind. When people say that, it blows my mind. But again, it goes back, Dr. Mark, this book didn't come from me, came through me. This book is something that the Lord put on me. I had to get it out. And I have a sense of urgency to get it to people. And so that's why I'm here tonight with you, this evening, today with you, to say, and people, you've got to listen to Dr. Mark's show because he's bringing the heavyweights. He's got tentacles. He's got people who are willing to support him, and I'm one of them. Les Brown and others. So I'm just grateful. Everybody go to Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better.com and get the book or get the free chapters. And if you want to get the book, but get the free chapters.
Come on, get the book. Come on, instead of getting that Big Mac. Big Mac gonna mess you up. That book gonna fix you up.
There you go. Oh, as I like to say, the Big Mac might be one thing, but it'd be better if you read the book and then buy a McDonald's. Come on, somebody.
I'm talking about right there. Now,
yes, sir.
I'm going to try to get through 2 more things, Dr. Willie, because I know we're short on time. What 3 simple milestones would you tell listeners to track so they know they're actually moving from rich to wealthy? And how does VDAD help them hit those targets?
The 3 things you want to track are your savings, your spending, your savings, and your investments. Simple. You're spending, how much are you spending? What are you saving? I really like you track first your savings, then your spending, then your investments. Track that.
Yes, sir.
And the VDAD, that's an action. You can take that action weekly.
Well, listen, sir, you have been a phenomenal guest. You have zeroed in and answered the questions. You didn't avoid them because you know your stuff. I appreciate it. What did you most like about being on the show tonight?
I liked the fact that you went to the doctor more than anything else. I like the fact that you went to the doctor more than anything else. You went to the doctor. If there's anything that has blessed me this evening, is that you're going to be around here for a while because you went to the doctor.
Yes, sir.
God bless you, man.
I appreciate you. Listen, to the family out there, we have been blessed with greatness tonight. This man has been doing it for a minute, and not only doing it for a minute, but doing it well. And so I salute you, Dr. Jolley. I appreciate you for being here. You know, I'm one of your I'm one of your armor bearers.
Well, thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you. Well, let me close by saying to everybody, you folks have only just a minute. only 60 seconds in it. It's forced upon you. You can't refuse it. You didn't seek it. You didn't choose it. But it's up to you to use it. You must suffer if you lose it. Give account if you abuse it. It's just a tiny little minute, but your eternities are wrapped up in it. Thank you for this opportunity to be with you. God bless you, and may heaven smile upon you.
Until next time, family, we love you. We appreciate you. Hey, give somebody a copy of what you get. Don't just buy it. The latest work of Dr. Jolley is Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. Buy a couple copies, pay it forward. Dr. Jolley, don't go away yet. I need 1 minute with you after we finish. Good night, family.